Go back, I think you tell us, was there an incident with seeing your mom break a plate?
Yes. I've tried my best to remember the exact date. I know it was prior to his death. It wasn't really, I don't want to say it was several months, but it was within a few weeks or so. We were working on the project between the house and the pond, the big stone walls and everything. And I remember I was either planting some plants or doing mulch or something. My dad was on the other side of the property, and she came out of my dad's office doors and screaming and cussing, and she threw a plate up against the wall of the house, and she screamed, "I can't wait till the day he fucking dies. I can't wait till the day I don't have to live with him anymore."
How close were you to this when she did it?
I was within 10 yards.
How far was your dad away?
He was over 100 yards away.
Do you know if he heard it or saw it?
I know he didn't. He never said anything to me that he noticed it, and I don't know I don't remember seeing him. So I knew he was up on the other side of the property.
So she walks out, and where does she throw the plate?
So if you walked out of those French doors, there was a wall right there, and right next to it would have been the hot tub. It was up against that wall, right?
How bad was what kind of plate was it, and how bad was it broken?
Well, I mean, if only plate like that would have been, used was just the white kitchen plates. We had like two different sizes. We had a bigger set and then a smaller set, but they looked the same.
Did you confront her or say anything to her about that?
No, I don't remember saying anything to her about that.
Do you know what she was upset about, or?
If I remember right, him leaving the plate in the home theater room. And it was probably a plate that he probably had some kind of dessert, key lime pie on. So he would occasionally leave a Mountain Dew can or a plate in the home theater, and her being, she cleaned a lot. She liked to keep a clean house. So stuff like that.
So how mad was she when she did this?
Like I said, she came out yelling and cussing and threw it as hard as she could up against the wall, and it shattered into several pieces.
And you're certain she was talking about your dad?
Oh, yes.
She ever say anything like that any other time? That you witnessed?
That I witnessed? No, I don't really remember, no. She always, talked bad about my dad. It's like she always tried to brainwash us, like he was, such a horrible person. But no, other than that, I never heard her really ever saying, "I can't wait for the day he's dead."
I'm going to ask you some questions. We're going to get into the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. This is, just to refresh me, this is Riley One's calendar. It's July 2018. So 3rd, 4th, and 5th, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up to those dates, do you know whether or not your mom, the defendant, was upset about a trip that Chris would use some money, your dad's money, to rent a condo or something for a beach trip?
I do remember, so they all planned to go down to the beach. I remember her making comments to me that, she wasn't happy about it.
Did she ever complain to you about Chris's spending or using money?
I took everything with a grain of salt from that she said about money.
Did she talk about money often?
What do you mean to talk about,
People using money or spending money or things like that?
she always tried to say, you know, Chris is stealing money, or you know, your father's paying for this and that and this.
She tell you to get a job or anything like that?
Whenever she would get pissed off about something. But then, you know, an hour later, she'd be like, oh, let's go and do this.
Did she ever say anything or do anything, because around July 3rd, July 4th, with Chris and the money he was spending to go on the beach trip, did you ever see her say or take any actions because of that, or confront your father or anybody else because of it?
I didn't see anything. I know she wasn't happy about it because, you know, I don't really remember exactly why she was not happy about it. I remember her asking if I was going, and I remember my dad asking me if I wanted to go, and I said no, because, you know, somebody's got to stay here and take care of the animals.
Was your dad going to go?
Yes, he was planning on going.
How about your mom?
No, she was not. And the reason why I said I didn't want to go is I said to him, I was like, well, somebody's got to take care of the animals, because I'm sure she's going to run off and go to Tennessee.
Up to this point, you said your mom would kind of just disappear or during the week. How often would that occur? If you took it week by week, how often was that happening?
For quite a period of time, it was just at least once a week she would disappear. It always seemed like a Tuesday or a Wednesday or somewhere, you know, in the middle of the week, it seemed like. And then a lot of times she would just send me a text saying, hey, I got to go up to Martha James. I got to take her to the doctor, and she wouldn't be back until the following week. Or
how consistent was this where she would go week per week?
For a while, for the last year and a half.
Up to the week of July 3rd, 4th, and 5th. When was the last time you remember her just leaving?
I mean, that probably would have been the week before, maybe. Or,
So it's up to that the week before?
oh yeah, I mean, she was always had an excuse to go. You know, Martha Jane had to go to this doctor.
And she would be gone. Would she just take day trips, or the other?
Sometimes it would be a day or two. Sometimes she would be gone, you know, 4 or 5 days.
Around this time, did you ever see your mom with more than one cell phone?
Oh yes.
Tell the jury about that, please.
I noticed that she had 2 cell phones when she'll be on the phone talking, and I walk into the house and her cell phone is laying on the counter. And then a lot of times I kept, you know, I'll walk around the corner and she would grab her phone and tuck it into her waistband. So I knew she had 2 cell phones. And I told my dad she had 2 cell phones.
Did she use the phones out and open, or where was she using
No,
them?
she tried to hide it from me. I do know that.
Did you ever see her on it?
Well, like I said, that one time I saw her on the phone, but yet I walk in and her phone's laying on the kitchen island.
Did she ever, where would she keep that other phone?
I have no clue.
Did you ever see her on her person or anywhere on her body?
Like I said, there was many occasions where I walk, you know, into a room or around the corner, and she would move swiftly and tuck it into her pocket or waistband, depending on what she was wearing.